Hi everybody, it's Crazy, it's Friday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now, before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys really do rock. I couldn't do it without you. To my Crazy fam, I love you guys, y'all are awesome. And to my patrons, thank you for your awesome continued support. Now, we're up to episode number 21 now. Yay! And guess what we're getting into? Animation today. We left off with, last week with, let me see if I got it right. Yeah, there we go. We put bones on our Suzie Shark, and now we get to animate. So let's switch on over to here real quick, and I'm gonna read a little excerpt off of this, and then we'll go ahead and start playing around with it. Alright, so animation. To create an animation, you need to define the individual poses that will build up the illusion of movement. As an artist, you can define the poses frame by frame or work in a few moments of the animation. For example, you can define just a few frames and Blender will automatically calculate the missing frames for the animation. It depends on how much control you want. In other words, very simple, you can have it do 2 frames and it'll design the frames in between, or you can move every frame and try to set it yourself if you want to get exact movements. Okay, so this little part right here says, when 206 bones are too many. The animation complexity is also directly related to the number of bones created in your rig. For this game, we are not using many bones for simplicity's sake. In Chapter 4 animation, you'll find more robust examples. So, if you've already been through this book and you've already played around with this and you want to dive into, animations a little bit more, go on over to Chapter 4. Okay? Alright, so we need to create a swimming cycle, an animation where the first and the last poses are the same and can be played seamlessly in a loop. Let's start by following these steps. Okay, so for the first one, let me switch back over to here. Okay, it says set the current frame to the initial one. Shift left will set this keyframe right here, okay, it's back to 0. So if you hit shift and then left, it will automatically put it on. Even if I had it way over here, okay, and then hit shift left again, whoop, it throws it right back over to the right. Okay, a lot of people don't like starting it at 0, okay, because that's 0 right there. They want to start at 1. That's why it automatically goes to 1 and not 0. Okay, let's see here. We're going to select our armature. That's this little armature right here. Okay, we got to first off get out of pose mode. I had locked it in pose mode. All right, set our little armature. Okay, now we're going to go back into pose mode. Okay, and it says now rotate the tailbone 50 degrees clockwise in the Z axis. So we're going to go to top view, okay, and up here this is the tailbone. We're going to click on the tailbone. We're going to hit rotate Z -50 because that's going to turn it counterclockwise. Okay, and then we're going to click that, left click that to do that. And I always seem to forget to do this, so I'm pretty sure y'all haven't razzed me too much in the comments about this, but I keep forgetting to turn on my good old screencast keys. Okay, so now with the head, we're going to do the same thing. It says rotate the head bone 5 degrees counterclockwise in the same axis. So we're going to rotate on Z -5. Okay, when we hit the left mouse button, it's now her head is turned this way and her tail is turned this way as well. Okay, select all bones. So if we hit A twice, A deselects everything, A again selects everything, and then hit insert a keyframe, which is hitting I on your keyboard. As soon as you do that, you'll be set with these awesome, all kinds of little neat things you can do. You can set its location, you can set it to rotation, you can set it to scaling, you can do both location, rotation, location and scale, all kinds of visual location, you name it. So it depends on what you want to use it for. We're going to use location rotation, okay, because we rotated it and it's taking it out of its normal location. So we want to use those two. Okay, so where she's at and which ones we've turned, we want to set a keyframe on. You know, a lot of people do all three because they do scale it. You know, you can scale them and do them at the same time. So a lot of times, you know, you want to use all three. Sometimes you just want to use location. You're going from point A to point B, and you're not scaling it. You're not, you know, you're not rotating it. You're just moving. Then you would just hit location. Okay, so because that's the one you're going to move, and that's the one you want to focus on. Okay, so this will be our first pose for the first frame. Okay. Now, you can go into Shark 9 and the assets folder, okay, and open up shark.9.blend, and it will show you Suzie Shark in the position we have it on our screen right now, okay? All right, to create a cycle, you need to begin and, see, hang on, let me read that. Sorry about that. To create a cycle, you need the beginning and the end frames to match. Move to frame 31 through the timeline or shift up 6 times. Okay, so if I come over here and I hit shift and the up arrow key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it says frame 31, that's frame 61. So yeah, we're gonna go over here to frame 30 and then we're gonna go to 1. Because it says 31, not 61. Okay, I don't know why they said 6 times. And okay, and add a new keyframe for the same pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here. We're going to hit I, come back down here to location rotation. Now sometimes if you bump your mouse, it'll put it on something else. So make sure you are setting it to location rotation, lock rod. Okay. So now we set the beginning frame and the end frame because we want them to be the same. Wrong screen, sorry. Alright, there are different ways to set your animation in Blender. Change your current screen to animation in the Blender menu where you see default. So that's talking about up here, okay? You can come in here and you can go to animation. Now it's going to throw everything all kinds of which ways. You're going to be like, what's going on here? Yeah, this is why. Okay, so I'm going to hit 7 in this one. I'm going to scroll back in. Okay, he's got it set in the book. He's got it set where all 4 are in there. I only have 1. I don't want 4. To me, it's just annoying. Okay, so with that, okay, Suzie Shark is sitting in the middle. You've got your dope sheet here. You've got your dope sheet here, and you got your action editor here, and then you've got your camera showing which way it is right here, and plus all your other stuff right there. So it kind of helps out a little bit. Okay. See, this screen shows the 3 animation editors: dope sheet, graph editor, and timeline, as you can see in the figure. And I'll switch over to it. Let me kick over to here. We're gonna go. There you go. I got it in the screen over here so you can see. Okay, your screen should kind of look like this. Okay, if you want to have the 4, you can, or you can have what I've got, just the 1. But it's the same. It shows the timeline, it shows your dope sheet, and it shows your action editor. Okay. All right. So in the dope sheet, you can see where we have added keyframes so far. The 2 points and the line connecting them mean that there is no change between the 2 poses. Okay. So we're not going to go up to 200 frames. See, okay, so see this straight line? That's just saying that these 2 are connected. Okay, there's no change between them. It's just the same thing. Okay, the other way of adding a new pose is by selecting the keyframes in the dope sheet and duplicating them. As with the other editors in Blender, you can grab, scale, and copy and toggle all selected with using G, S, Shift D, and A, using the same shortcuts you are used to. So it's the same thing as if you wanted to grab, if you wanted to grab this, you wanted to grab it, you can do the same thing. Same thing over here. You can hit grab and you can move them. See, and we don't really want to move them. Okay. The middle pose of the animation cycle should be opposite to the initial and final pose. Blender has a simple way to flip poses. See, you can, let's see, show another thing. Okay, so they have it showed in this one where you can flip it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so it says change to pose mode. We are already in pose mode. Select all the bones. So we hit, I am in it, right? Okay, yeah. A, which will select all the bones. Click on copy pose in the 3D view header. Okay, so here on pose, we're going to hit copy pose. So copy, right? See copy. See. I'm trying to look and see if I can see in here. If y'all see it before I do, please let me know. I'm not seeing it. Okay, I'm wanting to copy. There you go, copy pose, right there it is, okay? Or Control C. Now, they didn't put that in there, but you can also see, you can hit copy pose. Okay, go to frame 15. So now we're gonna bring it on back to frame 15. You can actually do it here too, okay? Does the same thing. You can also do it down here. Now zooming in kind of helps you out a little bit. We're gonna bring that out so we can see the whole deal. I like to look at the animations a little bit more so than seeing it like 250 frames out. Okay, there we go. All right, so go to frame 15. Click on paste flipped pose. Okay, so we go here and we go paste. Okay, paste X flip pose. Okay, so if we do that, now it's the opposite way. Okay, and then you hit I, and it's going to say location and rotation. Okay, and there you go. All right, so now you see it up here, it says successfully done. So there we go. Now, if we go back to frame 1, okay, Suzie Shark swims. Suzie Shark is swimming. Yay! Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit this to 31. Okay. That way, when I hit play, it will make her swim. So look. There she is. She is swimming. And that's the loop that she's going to do constantly in forever. Whenever you hit a button to swim, this is the animation that's going to play. Okay. So let's go back to number 1. All right, so bones mirroring, okay? All right, so if your rigs have bones bifurcating from the main bone chain, there is a simple way to make them mirror. By default, Blender will try to paste the pose of the same bone mirrored relative to the y-axis. Sometimes, however, you want to swap the transformations between two bones, a left and right. The classic example is walking animations when you need to animate only half of the strides. To have Blender interpret the bones as two sides of the same bone, you need to name them L for left bones and R for right bones. This way, the bone swimmer 001L will be treated as a pair of swimmer.001.R, and their poses will be swapped and mirrored when using the pose flip paste option. To learn more about this, refer to the walking cycle tutorial in Chapter 4. So there's more animation stuff you can learn in Chapter 4. If you want to learn a lot more about animations, we will be going into that. Okay, so we're going to end it here, and it says the swimming animation is now finished. In the timeline, set the final playback frame to frame 30. Playing back the animation, Alt-A will reveal your lovely and clumsily swimming cycle in the dope sheet. Switch the display mode to Action Editor. There you can change the name of the current action to Shark Swimming as shown in. Let me see if I can get to it. 1 second. That one, yeah. In this figure right here. Okay. In the Action Editor, you can rename it, which is, I believe, this one right here. You come over. It'd be helpful if I switch back, right? Okay, so let's switch back. Okay, So dope sheet right here, you notice you got the action editor. Now, in the action editor, you've got your root action. You can change that to shark, swimming. Okay, and that's now its new name. Okay, the current snapshot of the file is an asset shark 10. Okay, if you want to just go ahead and jump to it, you know, without trying, I suggest you give it a whirl, because animations can be actually really fun. I do love messing with animations. I just sometimes don't remember some of the stuff that needs to be remembered. But animation can be really fun, and you can really get into it. You can really do some awesome detail and make it look real, or make it look not so real, make it look really funny. There was one of the guys on the UPBGE channel, he goes by BluePrintRandom, made a walking machine, and it's so awesome how he can animate all 6 legs, and I thought that was really awesome. So dude, that was really awesome. Not random, I'm sorry. BluePrintRandom. Okay, so let's finish off with this. It says you can also do shark attack animation for a smooth transition. Make a new action with the same initial and final poses as the shark swimming. If you go with that, use the attack animation when the shark eats a fish. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and leave it there. I'm going to leave that for homework for you. I'm going to work on that myself, and let's see what y'all come up with. All right, so next week we'll go into, let's see, hang on, let me switch. There we go. Next week we're going to go ahead and switch to camera and keyboard. We're going to be messing around with setting up how to make your game quit, how to make your character move forward, move back, attack, so on and so forth. So your homework, try to get an attack cycle. You're going to use your first and your last, okay, keyframe, but in the middle you're going to do something else, make her snap one way or snap the other way, so on and so forth. Okay, all right, so with that being said, let's see how you do. Post in the comments or hop on over to my server and let me know there. Show me what you've come up with. I would really like to see what you guys have come up with, and you see what I do. So we'll see you next week.